There are a lot of moving parts, so we want to take a moment to explain something. If you've been following CBS News coverage, you probably have noticed we've been showing different electoral numbers than the network. That's because KHOU 11 is going with the projections of the Associated Press, which has already called Arizona right here for Joe Biden, even though ballots are still being counted. AP called the state yesterday after an analysis concluded the president wasn't likely to catch up to Biden, but the AP is still watching that state closely. CBS News and other networks have not called Arizona for Biden yet, so that's why you'll see the electoral count for Biden at 253. One other difference, CBS also shows 213 delegates for the president compared to AP's 214. That's because CBS hasn't called the race for Maine's 2nd congressional district for the president, while AP has.